everyone. Today I am bringing you my top 10 episodes of Gilmore Girls. So, if you are new to this channel, let me tell you a couple things about myself. Number one, my favorite show of all time is Gilmore Girls. Number two, I'm obsessed with Gilmore Girls. Favorite show of all time is Gilmore Girls. I have a whole playlist, that's right, a playlist of videos where I talk about Gilmore Girls. I've done book tags, I've done reviews, I've done reactions, anything you can think of, I've probably done it except for top 10 episodes. I've even done a review for every single episode of The Year in a Life, the Netflix original that came out a couple years ago with Gilmore Girls. So if you want to hear my thoughts on each individual season, I shall say, you can find it up here and down below. So today I'm talking about my top 10 favorite episodes. The reason it's taken me so long to comprise this and to do this is because narrowing down your favorite show of all time to your top 10 episodes is really hard. Like really insanely hard. So I looked at every single episode and every single season, tried to figure out which one I loved. There's some seasons that are not even on here, but for the most part, this list reflects my favorites of the whole show. And that's not to say anything at all because I love every episode really, but this list really reflects my favorite of favorites on this show. So yeah, without further ado, we're gonna begin. I'm also wearing a Gilmore Girls and coffee and more coffee shirt that I found, and I'm never gonna take off because Gilmore Girls is my life. Hey, if you haven't watched Gilmore Girls, I might spoil some things for you, whether it be relationships, kind of big season changes and things like that. So watch at your own risk because I don't want you to be like, she spoiled that relationship for me, or she told me this was gonna happen. I feel like with top 10 episodes, you're gonna get a whole gist of a show through all seasons. So just know there will be spoilers ahead for the entire show of Gilmore Girls. I hope that is okay with you. But if you're okay with being spoiled, watch forward. So let's get into it because this video will probably be long because I talk a lot about Gilmore Girls. I could do it all day, all night, forever basically. Coming in at number 10 is the episode There's the Rub from season 2.
That's a pretty color. What is that?
It's called Vicious Trollop.
Oh, stop it. Now, why would you name a lipstick something like that?
Because Dirty Whore was taken?
Now, I looked up a lot of lists of like favorite Gilmore Girls episodes just to kind of give me an idea of where I wanted to start. And I never saw this on anybody's list, but it's one of my favorites for a variety of reasons. This episode basically is all about Lorelai and Emily go to the spa for the day. Lorelai thought she's gonna get a free trip to the spa alone. Turns out Emily's going with her. So it's basically a mother and daughter bonding time, which is kind of rare for Emily and Lorelai. Meanwhile, Rory is at home and she's planning to stay home alone. She's gonna order an Indian food and just study, and then Jess and Paris kind of crash her night and things escalate from there. So the reason why I love this episode is because number one, Emily and Lorelai really bond and connect, which you don't see a lot over the show. They have a very strained relationship. It grows and gets closer of every season, but there's always a big drift in their relationship. And this episode, I really love their connection and how they went to the spa and they went out to dinner and dancing, and it was just a really good bonding episode for Emily and Lorelai, which is why I love it. I also love it because I love Rory. I will say pre-season 6 Rory. I really connected with Rory a lot in her early, like in her high school years. Like a good night for her is staying at home, folding laundry and eating takeout food, which is my dream pretty much any night of the week. So I love that, and I love the kind of hilarity that ensues when Paris and Jess accompany and Dean gets in it and it gets escalated. It's just a good classic episode. No one talks about it. I love it. It's a feel-good one for me. You notice on this whole list that these are my favorites because they make me feel good, honestly. There's some I didn't put on here because there's a little bit too much dramatic and things in it. For me, I just like a good feel-good episode. So I love this one. Would highly recommend it. Coming in at number 9 is Friday Night's an All-Right Night for Fighting. This is from season 6.
We're out of control.
Not the point, simply. Not the...
It is completely...
Rory, do not cut your grandmother off.
I told you exactly what happened with Mitchum and you didn't want to hear it.
I don't remember.
Basically, this episode is all about arguments. I think the beginning, or it's the end scene, I forget. It's a whole argument between like Richard and Emily. Then Richard and Rory get into it. Then Emily and Rory get into it. And Lorelai and Richard get into it. And everybody just fights with each other because they have all these pent up feelings. They're finally just like, let's just have it all out at this Friday night dinner. And it happens. And it's freaking hilarious. Like, I say I don't like dramatic episodes, but that one is just straight up arguing, but I enjoyed it for some reason because I was like, finally, we're gonna say what we needed to say, and it's just hilarious. And they ended all by eating dinner together. We also have Paris as the editor at the Yale Daily News, and she's like literally crumbling under the pressure and Rory has to save it, and that's just a classic Paris episode. I love it. Can't get enough of it. Coming in number 8 is To Live and Let Diorama. I forgot to put what season this is. I think it's season 5. I'm pretty sure it's season 5.
All right, we'll finish up here, grab your jackets, and we'll go.
I don't need a jacket.
Well, it's chilly, Kirk.
I don't want to wear a jacket.
Well, then maybe you won't go to the grand opening of the Stars Hollow Museum.
I'll put on my jacket.
And this one is it's one of my favorites, obviously, because it's on this list. Old Man Twickham dies, who lives in Stars Hollow. He has been rumored to die for forever, like every year. Usually people like line up to say goodbye to him, and this year it's finally happened. And they decided to take his house and make it a museum of Stars Hollow. So Luke gets into it, surprisingly, because reasons, and basically it's all about that. It's also Founders Day as well, and Rory and Paris are kind of reeling over their significant others not calling them back, so they decide to go to Founders Day and like wallow in their pity. And it's just a great episode because everybody's a little unhinged, and it's just classic Stars Hollow. Like, I love whenever they do like festivals or anything like that. It's just a hilarious episode. Like when Paris is tracking down people without shoes for money to call Doyle, like I felt that. Coming in at number 7 is the Bracebridge Dinner from season 2.
The town looks beautiful.
Same as always.
Oh, it's always different this time of year. It's magical.
This is a phenomenal episode. If you needed to watch an episode during winter, the Bracebridge Dinner is an absolute must. Basically what happens is we have this huge dinner of these Bracebridge people, I don't know exactly what they are, coming to Stars Hollow, but then they get snowed in. So instead of wasting all that food and costumes, they decide to throw it for the townspeople, and it happens, and it's just really romantic with horse rides, and it's just a fun time with everybody dressed up, and I love it. One of my all-time favorites. Coming in at number 6 is Written in the Stars from season 5.
Why? This thing we're doing here, me, you. I just want you to know I'm in. I am all in.
Reason, and the main reason for this episode being on this list, is because it is Luke's and Lorelai's first date. Who is my favorite TV ship of all time? Luke and Lorelai. I can't get enough of them, won't get enough. It was just so freaking romantic. We were waiting 5 years for this. 5 years for this, and the culmination of all that waiting is finally here in this one episode where they get the first date, and it is romantic as mess, and I like swooned like nobody swooned before. Oh, Luke. Oh, so good. I mean, the episode's just classic. I love it. I will always love it because of their first date. Like when he gives her that note that he held in his wallet since like they first met, like, oh my gosh. Oh. Number 5. These are my top 5 favorite episodes. Like these are the favorites of the favorites. Number 5 is You Jump, I Jump Jack from season 5.
You jump, I jump, Jack.
In omnia paratus. I really should have confirmed that those potatoes were okay.
This is the episode that you start liking Logan, because if you're like me, I did not like Logan at all, and then this episode came about, and I was like, okay, maybe he's an okay guy. I don't know quite yet, but basically it's about Rory, who figures out about the life and death brigade that's in college, and she decides to, you know, write about it, and she gets taken to like a soiree where they have to jump off with umbrellas, and it's just all so freaking cool. Like it's a amazing thing, this life and death brigade. It's amazing. Also, Luke goes to dinner for the very first time at Richard and Emily's, and that was a catastrophe, an amazing one to watch, but overall, I love this episode mainly for the life and death brigade. Like it was a fun time, through and through fun time. And number 4 is Rory's birthday parties from season 1.
Do the one thing in my life that is always good, it's always sweet, and without whom I would have no reason to get up in the morning. My pal Rory.
This is one of my favorite episodes because I feel like this is one of the first times you get to see the Stars Hollow people come together. Like they all joined for Rory's birthday parties, and you get to see really how close Stars Hollow is and how like of a tight community it is. Also, we have Rory's birthday party at Richard and Emily's with all of her school friends, and she didn't ask for it, and it's awkward and it's weird, and either way there's that. But her birthday party at home is just so much fun, so much togetherness and Stars Hollowness, and if you haven't decided to move there yet, you probably will. It's okay, I'll move there too with you. And number 3 is They Shoot Gilmore's, Don't They? And this is from season 3.
Round and round they go, but when the song stops, nobody knows. But
And this is the 24-hour dance marathon. Gilmore Girls does festivals and things so well. They also do really good, like, themed decade type of things. This one was like a 50s, maybe a 50s or 40s, I don't know, forget what decade, dance marathon where they all dressed up in these beautiful costumes and they dance. And basically the rule is you have to dance, like, you can't stop moving for 24 hours. Whoever is left standing is the winner, and it's just a fun episode for the decade feels, for just dancing. It's just a great episode. There's also a lot of combination at this point with the whole Rory, Dean, and Jess triangle going on. I just love it so much. It's definitely one of my favorite episodes. I can probably attest it to being a lot of people's one of their favorite episodes because it's just a classic Gilmore Girls episode, honestly, like through and through. Coming in at number 2 is the Lorelai's first day at Yale from season 4.
Just missed it.
Missed what?
Walking into your dorm suite for the first time. Do-over.
What?
This episode is one of my favorites because it's a new chapter in Rory's life. For the first 3 seasons of Gilmore Girls, we saw Rory go to Chilton and have her dream to go to Harvard. And then in the 4th season, she decides to go to Yale. And it's a whole new turning point for the show because, like I said, it was in high school the first 3 years. So now we're changing trajectory completely and going to Yale for college. And it's about Rory going to her first day at Yale, like setting up her room, figuring out how her roommates up, and how Paris is in the mix. And just, it's a fun time. It's a very, season 4 is one of my favorites because number 1, Rory doesn't have a lot of romantic entanglements, which I don't really enjoy for her. Number 2, because she's striking out on her own and turning a new leaf and going to a new school, and I just love that change, honestly. The Chilton years, for sure. I love watching her progression and her time at Yale. I thought it was just a fun time, and I just loved this episode so freaking much. And number 1, my favorite episode of all time, and I don't think it's anybody's favorite episode, is a deep fried Korean Thanksgiving from season 3.
Did someone say Jackson?
They're counting down.
I love this episode. Whenever I think of Gilmore Girls, I think of this episode. I don't know why. Like, it's a good episode. Do I think it should be like a favorite of everybody's favorites? I don't know, but it's just me. I just love this episode. Something about it is just my favorite, my true favorite. Like, I always, if I could have one episode to watch of Gilmore Girls for the rest of my life, it'd probably be this episode, honestly. Like, I love it so much. There's so many good things about it. It's basically about Lorelai and Rory going to 4 different Thanksgivings. They go to Lane's, they go to Sookie's, they go to Luke's, and then they go to Richard and Emily. So they're going to 4 different Thanksgiving dinners, and all 4 of them are completely different. Lane is Korean, and so they have very strict days there, and it's just tofurkey, a lot of things like that. Then they go to Sookie's, and I think one of the main favorite parts for me of this whole episode is Sookie is drunk and Jackson and his family are there and they are deep frying everything. Like, they are legit the most excited they've ever been to deep fry a turkey. Like, they are treating it like the freaking Super Bowl, and it's just a fun time. And they go to Luke's, which is great, and they go to Richard and Emily's, and things kind of get a turn from there. But I don't know why, I just love this episode. I also love Thanksgiving. That could be it for me as well, but I just love the different things we got. Also, Kurt got a cat in this episode, and like one of my favorite lines ever is, here's to hoping your cat exposes itself to you soon, Kurt. Like, it's just, I don't know why I love this episode. Like, I was really contemplating on not putting it as number 1 because I'm like, people are gonna be like, really, that's your favorite episode? But truly, for me, it is. I love it. I always rewatch it a lot, like probably once a month. That's how much I rewatch it. I love it. It's one of my favorites. No, it's my favorite. Let's be real. Like, I love it. So that's my list. There's a lot of episodes I wanted to put on here. I really wanted to put like one of the winter festivals or Firelight or Firefly episodes, or just their Christmas episodes are great, or their summer festivals, or their autumn festivals. Like, Stars Hollow is good for that. There's so many of those episodes as well. But these are my top 10 favorite episodes. They are my hands down favorite episodes. Like, if I had to watch 10 episodes of Gilmore Girls for the rest of my life, these would be those episodes. So I have left some out, obviously, because there's a lot of episodes. There's 7 seasons, for goodness sake. I did not include any year in life as well. And also, if you haven't checked out all of my other Gilmore Girls videos, please check them out. I've done a whole video of even just how to get ready for new Gilmore Girls. That's how much I love this show. I think if you've been watching me for a while, you know Gilmore Girls is like my number 1 fandom. Like, I love it probably just as much as Harry Potter, which I know is saying a lot, but I love this show, always will, won't ever stop loving it. So please tell me your thoughts and opinions. I would love to hear them. If you want more Gilmore Girls videos, please let me know. Anything Gilmore Girls, I will film. Hands freaking down. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.